We welcome everybody to another Saluki Radio preview, a day away from the War for the Wheel. It's the 8th installment of the Wheel, but this history goes back way further than that between these two programs. It'll be the 93rd all-time meeting. SEMO leads the series 44-40 with 8 ties as well. Alongside Mike Trude, the Coach Pat Poor, I am Luke Martin. Coach Poor, you know Coach Tuke well. We caught up with him this week. This is a team this year that's got a lot of fresh faces on it, a brand new quarterback coming in, and now this is a group that has been tested already early, coming off a game against #1 North Dakota State.
Yeah, they've played good competition. Tuke always does a good job of building that roster, and they've got capable players at almost every spot. You know, running back, quarterback, receiver, linebacker, back in secondary, and up front on the defensive line. So it'll be, you know, typical in this series. It'll be, you know, Hearns Hagler. It's going to be a tussle.
Dorian Anderson and Tristan Smith are both gone. Those were the two receivers that went over 100 yards last year in the game. Tristan, by the way, he's at Clemson this year. Tremendous talent, but it doesn't mean that they lost talent at wide receiver. Cam Pedro is back, and he's a big piece to what they do out at wideout.
Pedro leads them in catches. He can go deep. He's not the 6'6" guy that we're used to seeing Southeast Missouri have, but a great reception receiver, has a touchdown pass. Southern's going to have to watch him very carefully. Cam Robinson, another receiver that they have, can go get it. They will play 5 or 6 different receivers in the game. Brought in a guy last week who is 6'4", caught their longest touchdown pass of the year, 65 yards. So they will want to stretch the field with that quarterback.
I don't want to say it was like a carbon copy of what Devin Mockabee did week 2 against SIU, but Peyton Brown a year ago here at Saluki Stadium, he was a huge horse for them, Coach Poor, and he had some injuries, didn't really get to finish the year healthy, but he seems to be back and even more improved at that tailback spot.
Yeah, really good comparison there. You know, he's a homegrown kid from the area. You know, you can tell bleeds that SEMO blood, and in that game against us last year, he was a workhorse and kind of had one of those games where he was bound and determined he was going to have impact on that game. And you know, he had one explosive run in that ball game that was kind of a backbreaker going down the stretch.
Let's flip it to their defense. They have always been known, Mike, to have really good linebacker play. That's not changed. I believe 4 of their top 6 tacklers on defense come from that linebacker position group.
Yeah, Slade Dollar, Pedraza, 2 of the guys of the 4 that we'll see a lot of in this game on Saturday. You're right, 4 of the 6 of them, or 4 of the top 6 lead the team in tackles. The other 2 are their 2 safeties. So they come from the back to the front when it comes to their defense. Their safeties are really good as well. Just like Southern's linebacker group, the defensive line doesn't get a lot of credit, but it opens the door for those linebackers to make those tackles, and when the safeties come down, also to try to cut off the run to the outside.
SEMO up front, they've already allowed 11 sacks this year. They allowed 19 as a whole all of last year. Their O-line was really strong a year ago. How can Southern impact Leatherwood, who is a strong physical quarterback, and make that a big impact in the game?
I think by just being consistent on what they've done previously in terms of getting up the field, we've shown the ability to get push and get up the field. I think a big thing is going to be that pass rush lane integrity. You know, we saw it last week. We let the quarterback out a couple times, and you know, he had some impactful plays on that in terms of keeping some drives alive. And I think if we do those things, if we get up the field on them, which we can, and we keep our lane integrity, and then every once in a while, you know, splice in bring in a safety, bring in an outside backer, a little scissor twist up the middle, we can get to him. But I do think he's a kid that you want to make him play in the pocket and have to climb up and run a little bit. I don't think you want him playing comfortable back there, and he does a good job. He gets the ball out, he knows where to go with it and all that, but you got to get him out of rhythm, I think, and that's part of what you're talking about, is just some push up the field, get him off his spots, maybe flush him a few times to the edge, and get him out of sync.
It is the War for the Wheel. Throw the records out. It's going to be a fun night tomorrow in Cape Girardeau. Now, we hope you are at the game and enjoy that environment at Houck Stadium, but if not, you can listen to us on the the Saluki radio side. Our pregame coverage will begin at 5 o'clock tomorrow night with kickoff at 6. For Mike Trude, for the coach Pat Poore, I am Luke Martin saying so long, Saluki Nation. We will talk to you tomorrow night at the War for the Wheel. Go Dogs.